Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back and happy almost New Year's to all the Pisces out there. If you are a Pisces sun, moon, rising, or north node, this is your tarot reading for the upcoming month of January of 2025. And in case any of you are interested, I will be using my brand new Grateful Dead tarot deck, which I adore so far. Adore it. And I hope you guys will too. So, with all of that said, let's see what Pisces has in store for the new year. My Pisces. So, we had the Five of Pentacles upright, the Five of Wands reverse, the Eight and the Nine of Wands reverse, the King of Swords reverse, and then at the bottom of the deck we have the Queen of Swords upright. The Seven of Wands is also under the Queen of Swords. I feel like that one's to be stated. So, right off the bat, lots of reversed energy here. Lots of Wands energy. And then with the King and the Queen of Swords, that's also prominent as well. There's a conniving energy that you're moving through January with, or that's going to come up in January. It's a very precise, like I'm imagining an archer that never misses their target at the end. And you just keep going and you're just throwing these arrows over and over again. And it's almost like somebody's trying to get your attention, whether it's a responsibility or a person, but you're just so focused on this arrow and you're so focused on just hitting that target over and over again that you're neglecting the things around you. And because you're not really in the present moment there, you're missing all of the beautiful things there are to be like grateful for or excited about or happy for. And so whatever this thing is that is holding your attention, you may think you're like sharpening a skill or improving upon something that's going to help you in the long run, but essentially this thing is just a distraction. It's a distraction keeping you like very like separated on your own in a really unresourceful manner because the King of Swords upright, it's being alone, it's being in solitude, but in a way that's resourceful, in a way that the solitude helps you contemplate to give you the space and the messages you need to then move forward. Where the queen, again, it's like a conniving energy to the queen. It's very, like very pointed energy. So, which is interesting. It's like you have put yourself in this position of solitude, but again, it's not a resourceful position of solitude. And your responsibility or your loved ones or something outside of whatever it is that you're focused on has been trying to get your attention and trying to pull you out of that trance for so long. But you think you need to be focused on this. So you started like verbally, like, again, it's like throwing swords at people when you speak. It's very verbally pointed. You started getting this like it's like beyond an attitude. It's just like the people who care for you are trying to pull you out of whatever trance you're in, focused on this one thing that ultimately isn't going to get you anywhere. But you think you know better. And because of that, not only are you not listening to the people around you, but you are just throwing it back at them. Like you're turning your arrow and throwing it into them as you speak. And because you are so focused on this thing, again, you are putting yourself in this storm. You're getting yourself trapped in this blizzard and you think that there's no help available to you, but ultimately there are like people are actively trying to help you get back to yourself, but it's like you're not seeing that. It's because like you're desperately seeking for help, but in a very specific manner. Like you are like, I can only accept help if it looks the way I want it to look, if it sounds the way I want it to sound, if it is the way I want it to be. And you're ignoring everything else. And because of that, you're getting yourself trapped in your own storm. you're getting yourself trapped in your own storm, and you're actually like, not only are you halting your progress, you're going backwards in some sort of progress that you were making. And in that, again, there's this sense of deception you feel about the people that are trying to help you. Like there's something you can't trust about them, but ultimately it's in your own mind, and it's you're not able to trust your intuition right now. You're disconnected from your body. And when you're disconnected from your body, that's when the mind goes crazy. Not crazy, I don't want to use that word, but that's when the mind starts going and going and going, and overthinking and anxiety and formulating depression. And in more serious cases, it can even get into psychosis, which I wouldn't normally even bring that up in a reading because it's very personal and deep, but that like this is you might be treading that line. You might be treading that line. And honestly, that's why the seven wanted to come out, because just look at the symbolism on this card. Like he looks angry. He looks like he's just not even on planet Earth right now. Like just zoned out and like chipping away at these bits, but ultimately like this is a gray harvest. There's nothing there's nothing to get out of that. He's just like it's just him in his own universe, and it's not a healthy place to be. And again, there's just this like I don't know if it's fear or just fear of deception. There's like a suspiciousness to the people that are trying to offer you help and are trying to get that out of you. And I think it's just because you've been like you're so convinced that whatever this thing you're throwing arrows at is the end all be all, but ultimately it's not. It's a big distraction. And I think that distraction is from yourself. And I think you know that. I think you know that. And that's why you're getting so defensive about the people who are trying to help you. That's why you're throwing your words so violently at them. And that's why you're putting yourself more in this position of just like being in your own universe, because you haven't yet been able to face what it is you're distracting yourself from. Oof, Pisces, this is deep. Let's see if we can get some more information on this. Okay, so this is a good sign. This is a good sign. Besides the Five of Pentacles upright, this entire spread is swords and wands. And one major arcana, which I'll get to in a second. But it's like, and that's interesting because wands is all about being in the body, being in the present moment, experiencing life as it unfolds, and swords is about being in the mind. So it's like there's this tug of war. And again, you're not able to trust your intuition right now because you're not in your body and your mind has too much control. So it's like there's this tiny part of you, this tiny, tiny part, like, and your intuition's quiet. Your intuition will always be quiet. There's this tiny part of you that's just like, I'm still here. I'm just waiting for you to kind of tap back in. I think grounding would be very, very beneficial for you right now, however you do that. Whether it's just sitting and meditating with like a black stone, like a tourmaline or like a shungite. Um, obsidian, etc. Meditating with that, or like just going out and putting your feet in the grass and laying down in a field and just sitting under a tree and just doing nothing. Anything you do that can ground you right now, I would highly recommend it because it's going to help you get out of the mind and turn off that mental chatter and really ground into your body so you can start listening to what your body is actually telling you rather than what your mind is telling you your body is telling you. It gets really, really like there's a keen discernment you have to tap into in order to actually be able to discern between the two. And grounding is going to help you kind of clear out that space, get the fog like ushered out. Anyway, so the cards that came out, I will get to this one in a moment. The Five of Swords reverse, and then the Ten of Swords upright was on the bottom of the deck. Um, And this one's to be said too. The World reversed was under the Ten of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So I said this is a good thing because the Five of Swords reverse energy is where Five of Swords upright. Again, it's deception. It's you like beating out your opponent at any means necessary, which can get very ugly. It can be very, again, pointed. It can be like bitter and there can be deception in that. But when it's reversed, it's actually coming to like a compromise. It's coming to like a ceasefire and finding a friendly compromise between the two parties. And I think right now, again, those two parties is your mind and your body. So that's why I said this is beneficial because as you learn to discern between the two, you will be able to find that mind body connection again. Your intuition will be able to start to speak to you. And ultimately, you will be putting an end to this cycle that you've been in, this cycle of distraction and thinking you're not ready to face yourself. You're putting an end to that. Now, that doesn't mean you are going to be ready to dive completely in and just go right into shadow work and heal all of whatever is going on within. No, I think January is really about the acknowledgement of this. It's about the coming together between the mind and body and and finding that cohesion. That's what January is about because then the coming months will be about actually integrating and doing the work. But January is about bringing the unconscious to the consciousness. It's about coming together within yourself. And by doing that, you will be putting an end to the cycle where your mind has just been on overdrive for far too long. Your mind has been in the driver's seat. Your ego's been in the driver's seat and you're not even on the road anymore. Like you got off the road. You're beyond dirt roads even. Like you're just driving through cornfields at this point. Just like, ah! Like ultimately getting nowhere very fast. But as you ground and come back to yourself and bring your mind into, again, cohesion with your body, you're putting an end to this cycle. You're putting an end to this cycle. And where we have the king reverse, the king of swords reverse, as you put an end to the cycle, that energy slowly turns upright. So not only do you have the queen upright, but now you have the king too. And it's checks and balances with the two of them. They're able to find that balance together rather than, one having more power over the other, etc. And the beauty of that, and this is the third card that came out, the beauty of all of that is as you're finding that alignment within yourself, you're aligning yourself to the opportunity for newness. And what's interesting is as I pulled this deck out, they have a guidebook in here, and I went to just pick up the guidebook, and I guess I like didn't pick up the whole thing, and I picked it up and it opened to the Fool as well, just before I started this reading. So that energy has been here. That energy has been with us. There is this opportunity for a completely fresh start once you come back to yourself, but you need to come back to yourself. And I think taking your mental health and your physical health as your top priority in January will be key here, will be absolutely key here. Because you can't be mentally healthy and you know what I mean? The way you can maximize your cohesion within yourself is to find the right balance between mental and physical health, however that looks for you, however that looks, because it looks different for everybody. But start eating more. And that's what's important too, is when our minds are in a state of turmoil, upheaval, whatever you want to call it, it's really easy for our minds to neglect the body. So that's when we start eating only fast food or only takeout or, just only junk food and we neglect taking care of the body. We stop going on walks. We stop doing the things we like to do because our mind is so focused on just being destructive. And then that destruction becomes a habit. That destruction becomes an addiction in itself. And then finding your way back from that destruction, it starts with treating your body right. Even if your mind doesn't want to eat the pineapple. Even if your mind doesn't feel like cooking, cook dinner, cook breakfast, start doing things that you know that come from your hand, essentially. So you know what's in it, you know what's going in your body, and you can control the nutrients you're getting in again, and you can start taking more supplements. And the more we allow our body to feel that health, the mind starts to get itself in check as well. It starts to balance the chemicals in our brains too. So that I think is going to be important. Grounding, treating your body well. Maybe just start walking again or start walking, period, if you haven't before. But those little things you can do to keep your body healthy are going to be so important in bringing yourself back into cohesion. And again, there is this newness, but it's like it's baby steps to get there. Because like I said earlier, you can't just decide Oh, okay, I'm gonna start listening to my intuition now. Let's do the like it's Rome wasn't built in a day. Rome was not built in a day, and it's going to take time to kind of. It's like I used to go down conspiracy rabbit holes, and I was having a great time diving all the way in. I'm going down. I'm going down. I'm getting in there, but then eventually you have to come back out. I don't know if you can hear the siren. Sorry about that. Eventually you have to climb back out of that rabbit hole. That's what they don't tell you, and a lot of people get lost down there, and that's a whole other thing. But you have to be strong enough and willing enough to climb your way out because you are important enough, you matter enough that your health should be a priority to you because it's a priority to the people that love you, to the people that have been trying to pull you out but haven't known how, to the people that you have been throwing the swords back at. They want to help you out of this. They want to help, not out of, they want to help you through this. So be open to that, but also be discerning in that as well and know how to tell when help is going to be beneficial and resourceful for you and when solitude is going to be beneficial and resourceful to you. And that's again allowing that King of Swords energy to flip upright. There's going to be a lot of necessity to discern. There's going to be a lot of focus on the self and on the health. But ultimately, with the Fool coming out as the last card, this new beginning is possible, but it's up to you. You have to take responsibility for yourself. There's no real way to sugarcoat that. It's up to you. And I think you know this. I think you know this. And you've known it. But again, the mind has been so loud that the intuition hasn't even been able to get a word in. So don't be hard on yourself either. That's actually a great thing to say here. Me talking to myself. Um, think of it this way and how treating yourself kindly can actually help save the world in this way. If you are somebody that has been really mean to people in the past with your words, with your actions, whatever, fill in the blank. And now you've matured and you realized that was not good of me and you're trying to repent for that. You have the option to be really mean to yourself now because you want to make yourself feel as bad as you made other people feel because you think that is justice. When in all actuality, the energy of being hurtful and mean and unkind is still circulating. It's just instead of you putting it out into the world, you're keeping it on a loop within yourself. But that energy, that cruelty is still a pattern. It's still an energy you're keeping in the world rather than transmuting it into love. So the best way that you can move forward with your life in this example is by being kind to yourself, is forgiving yourself for the transgressions that you have done unto others and now unto yourself. Forgiving yourself is a radical act. Being kind to yourself is a radical act because again, the more you are able to be kind to yourself and change those knee jerk reactions to be like, oh, I'm so stupid or why would I do that? Blah 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 blah. Fill in the blank. The more you're able to change that, you're quite literally transmuting those harsher energies, that cruelty into love. Therefore, changing the energy, transforming the energy that exists on the planet, which then amplifies that feeling of love for everyone, not only around you, extended outwardly. Oh, I have chills. And that's kind of the energy here. You may recognize that you have dug yourself into this rabbit hole. And you might have not even noticed it as it was happening, but now you're at the bottom of this rabbit hole and you're looking up and it's long and it's dark, but you can see the light at the top. You can see the circle at the top. You have the choice to kick yourself and be like, why would I do this? How did I let it get so bad? And blah 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 blah. Or you can say, okay, I did this. So now how can I use this energy and be resourceful to get myself back up out of here? Because being mean to myself is not going to help me get back up to the top. There's a hole in my armpit. That's the hole. That's the end of the rabbit hole. But ultimately, Pisces, this was a heavy reading, but new beginnings are awaiting you. You just have to come back to yourself and trust that you are worthy of that new beginning because you are. You really are. But of course, with all of that said, This was a general reading, so it's possible not everything resonated. If that is the case, you can check out my website in the description below, and there you can book me directly for tarot, astrology, human design, and numerology is coming in the new year, so keep a lookout for that if you're interested. If you did like this reading at all, if it was a little swift kick in the butt for you, kind of bringing things to your conscious awareness, go ahead and leave me a like and leave me a comment and let me know how it resonated. And of course, we do this every single month for all of the signs. So if you're interested in getting your tarot reading, your tarot forecast for the month ahead, according to the cards, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you guys here in the future. But Pisces, seriously, there is not much more to say except love yourself enough to want to make this change for the better. Love yourself enough to put an end to this cycle. Because after the exhaustion is the energy to do. After you come back to yourself, you have this new lease on life, and that's what's awaiting you. That is what's awaiting you. It's not all doom and gloom. There is light at the top of the hole. You gotta climb your way up. You gotta climb your way up to get there. But I know you can, and I believe in you.